Good evening, everybody. You're very welcome along once again to the fifth round of the iRacing GT Pro Championship VRA, live from Road America here in Elkhart Lake. 6.41 kilometre long circuit, and we've got a championship battle on our hands as always. Niall Quinn back in that second position in the championship now, but still Keith Dempsey leading as we come into almost the halfway point of this championship. Not long to go at all now, so Niall Quinn needs to start putting it to Keith Dempsey at this stage. In practice, interestingly enough, it was in fact Niall Quinn who got the better of Keith Dempsey in practice, and we're currently just in qualifying right now with about 4-5 minutes left to go. It is Niall Quinn who leads from Thomas Siebes, who slotted himself in between himself and Keith Dempsey, so there's only 3/10 between those guys. Davey Yamamoto doing really well in 4th, Evan Walsh is 5th, Thomas Sirius is 6th, Sergey Graben, Jordan Kelly, Petkavicius, Brian McManus, Olivier Van Herk, Stephen Joyce, Colin Bays, Brandon Ian, Daniel Steinman, Tony Stack, Navicus and James Dowling. And then of course, as we all know, we have the GT3 class as well, which is of course now led by Chris Bays. Conor Murphy is 2nd, Adam Dowling 3rd, Ronan Hederman in 4th, and Marty Moore in 5th, Jean Montero, Ian Malone, Rob O'Neill, Damien McMullen. Fear Vicious is still on there for GTE, he hasn't quite set a time yet. Dominic Castanis, James Holman, Nicky Meredith, Stephen Quisgard and Nathan Healy round out this 33 car grid for today, but it's still Niall Quinn ahead, just gone fastest on a 2-minute 0.8 around this very, very long circuit. It's one of the longest circuits we have on the calendar so far, with Thomas Siebes just behind him on a 2:01.0 and Dempsey just behind him at 2:01.2. Dave Yamamoto's right in there as well, 2:01.3, just 100th of a second between Yamamoto and Evan Walsh, with a 2:01.39 for Evan Walsh. He slotted himself ahead of Thomas Series, who's 3rd in the championship, don't forget. Sergio Graben 7th, Jordan Kelly 8th, Pekovicis 9th, and Chris Bays, Colin Bays, rounds out the top 10. So we're on board now with one of the BMWs. This is Keith Dempsey, our championship leader, almost nearly 100 points ahead at this rate as we head into round 5, and we only have 4 rounds left after this, so not long left to go, but Keith's in full control. He had a massive battle with Niall Quinn 2 weeks ago, and Niall almost got the better of it. Keith managed to hold on to take the win last time out, and he's in full control. Niall Quinn right in there in the fight, as we said. But Thomas Siebes, impressive performance in qualifying so far on the 2 minute 1.0, only a 10th off Niall Quinn, and Keith is only a couple of hundredths behind him as well. So there is your GTE pole at the moment on a 2 minute 0.8, and your GT3 pole is a 2 minute 4.7, so that shows the difference in the cars, and that is of course set by Chris Bays in the Mercedes, with Chris Bays just behind him on a 204.6, which is just on a 203, yeah, 204.6 and a 204.8 for Conor Murphy now slotted into 2nd. There is Chris Bays, our GT3 championship leader. He's won both events, so he's done a really, really nice job of keeping himself right in there. He had a double pit stop last time out, and he still managed to come through and take the win in the dying moments last time out. But a top 5 start for Yamamoto and Evan Walsh will be some story. Unfortunately, we have a couple of drivers who are missing here today as well, but we will carry on nonetheless. 12 minutes of qualifying gone, 3 minutes left. Is it going to be Niall Quinn going to be taking pole today, or can Keith Dempsey pull something out of the bag? It is so close between 4th, 5th and 6th. There's only half a 10th between those 3 guys. They're all fighting it out for a top 5 start. Sergio Graben only a 10th of a second off of that battle as well. So it's all very, very close across the field. As you can see, 2 minute 0.8 down to 20th and 2:03.4. There's only 3 seconds between those guys, and only really a second separates the top 10. So even the smallest improvement can really gain you a lot of time. Evan Walsh a personal best in the 2 mini sectors there. We're just watching Niall Quinn, you're seeing on your screens in the BMW M8, the VRS livery, as you can see the green on his car, and he is following around one of the GT3s, which I believe Conor Murphy, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's Conor, no it's not Conor Murphy, I thought it was, but it's GT3 keeping an eye on that. Chris Bays leads that from Conor Murphy, and Chris Bays only about 2/10 of a second clear of 2nd place at the moment. No change in GTE just yet, they're coming out for their final flying laps. and not long left to go. So here is on board with Niall Quinn coming down the bottom of the circuit here. This is a section that's called Hurry Downs, which is all, as I said, it's all downhill into a 90-degree left-hander at turn 8, and the most famous corner on this circuit is the carousel. This long right-hander keeps on going. You can just see tight to the inside. Got to wait on the throttle, keep it on half throttle, and back on the power again as we come down towards 10 and 11. In certain cars, you would have this section totally flat. Let's see if Niall keeps it flat. Up to 6th gear, lifts off a little bit. GT3s, interestingly enough, keeping pace with the GTEs through that section. As you can see, that Niall was having a little bit of trouble closing up to that GT3 car up ahead through the right-hander at 11. And then we runs up the hill towards Canada Corner, which is the last corner of this track, and then we run uphill Canada Corner, which we went through actually, turn 14, last corner coming up now. As we come through the right-hander, then running up, you can just see the rise up the hill. You can't even see the start-finish until you're on top of it. So as you can see, up the hill they come. Let's see if Niall Quinn can improve his position. I've just noticed Evan Walsh, purple in the first sector, fastest of anyone so far in the first sector, personal best. Now he's fallen down a little bit, but he might be able to maybe even just get himself 4th place. Be a great result for Evan. He's coming to the pits anyway, but he's got some pace in that car, but it looks like it has Evan. Be good to see him up there. David Yamamoto as well, always fast, always in there or thereabouts. And still Niall Quinn on a flying lap now, down the Moraine sweep, which is dropping downhill into this really tricky turn 5. Got to spot your braking. Just see Keith Dempsey popping into 3rd place, 201.2, and then dropping down the hill we go. You just see how steep it is. They're on the brakes now, down to 3rd gear, down to 2nd gear for Niall Quinn, getting it turned in on the power. You can't even see the next corner, turn 6, until you're on top of it, underneath the Corvette bridge. Then you're turning left, and then you're into turn 7, into Hurry Downs, which is this dropping down into turn 8. Really tricky braking as well. Up and down this circuit is flying downhill and into turn 8, which is as tight as you'd like. Into the carousel then, which is really, really tricky. Most famous corner on this circuit, as I said, keeping it tight to the right-hand side, running it out wide. Got to find a place just to get on the power, to power out underneath the bridge then, as we head into turn 11. And we'll just see how Niall's getting on. He's actually not improving as far as we can see so far. Worst sectors throughout the lap so far. Qualifying is over. Keith Dempsey on a lap. Everybody's on a lap, apart from with the top 3 guys are on a lap. David Yamamoto, purple in one of the sectors there. Is he going to improve on that position? No, he doesn't. He's not able to. Yes, he does. 2nd place for David Yamamoto, 2:09.9. What a lap from Yamamoto. Front row start for him. So coming through here, we are can't quite believe that on board now with, I believe, Keith Dempsey, our championship leader. But what an upset. Niall Quinn, David Yamamoto, 2nd place. Here comes Niall Quinn. Can he improve on a 2-minute 0.881? Comes across the line. Is that going to be an improvement for Niall Quinn? Gonna wait and see. It's not. 2:01.1. What about Keith Dempsey? He's on the 2nd row of the grid now, alongside Thomas Siebes, who's out-qualified him. So this isn't the best qualifying from Keith, but we've seen him down in 16th place, come up to 3rd in one corner. He's running very, very wide there. He's not improving on his lap either. Loses the back end through the last corner. So he's not going to be able to put... And all of a sudden, Colin Bay is up to 4th, jumps Keith Dempsey. So Keith Dempsey has now been brought to the 3rd row of the grid alongside Evan Walsh. But Niall Quinn and David Yamamoto, the performance of the day. 2nd place, only a 10th of a second off of Niall Quinn. That's an absolutely fantastic qualifying from him. Thomas Siebes is 3rd. Colin Bays is 4th. Keith Dempsey is 5th. Evan Walsh 6th. Thomas Series is 7th. Sergio Gavin is 8th. Brian McManus is 9th. And Jordan Kelly is 10th. And just GT3, have a quick look. Chris Bays, Conor Murphy and Adam Dowling are your top 3. But Niall, what do you make of that? That was...
I'm just trying to sit down here and get my head around. I'm sure everyone who's listening will be glad to hear your back, Jack, and they don't have to listen to my drillings, but I am going to help out with Jack and try and figure out how this is all done. Big surprise at the top is no Keith Dempsey on the front row. I think that's for the first time. Track temperatures are dropping.
Yeah.
So we're through the qualifying phase. No fancy overlays tonight, unfortunately. They don't seem to be working, but we'll see one more time for our results come up, which they don't. But after this, it's straight on to the start of rolling start for this as well. It's going to be a tight track. So I don't know, who's your money on?
I really don't know, because it's a real mix-up. On pure pace, Keith Dempsey is 5th on the grid. Is this row 3? Now the lowest he started is down in about 16th place, and we all remember what happened there. He came through part of the seas, came through to 3rd place after turn 1. So anyways, here is your grid for round 5 of the VRA GT Pro Championship. Niall Quinn on pole position, Davey Yamamoto 2nd place. You just see only a 10th of a second off. 700ths behind him, dark horse Thomas Sivas, 3rd place. Colin Bays, 4th, 200ths of a second off of that. Keith Dempsey, big surprise, 5th, 4/10 of a second off of pole. Evan Walsh is right in there in the top 6. Thomas Series 7th, Sergio Graham 8th. Brian McManus inside the top 10. And Jordan Kelly is 10. So the top 10, sorry, actually make that the top 12, separated by a second. You can just see how close it was there. Only 600 between the 3 drivers of Jordan Kelly, Stephen Joyce and Nicky Meredith in 12th. And then further down, we're seeing Linus Petkevicius. That was so close, between 10th all the way down to 14th, which is 4 drivers between a 10th of a second there. Olivier Van Herk down in 15th, bit of a surprise there. Brandon Neens in 16th. Daniel Steinman is 17th. We have Tony Stack 18th. Navicus is 19th. James Dowling is 20th. And then Stefan Kvistgaard and Jim Moylan 22nd. And Jonas Ferravicius is 23rd.
Yeah, I'm just going to say I would have qualified for that.
Yeah.
Had I have got on tonight, I would have qualified for that race. So that is everything I need to know.
Yeah.
This is the big one though. This is Chris Bays, Connor Murphy, Ian Malone, Adam Dowling, turn 1, Ronan Hederman in behind them, and Montiero as well. That's going to be a cracking race, and you can never rule out Marty Moore. Such a great race.
No, you can't.
So tight around. So I'm actually really looking forward to this GT3 race more than anything. Rob O'Neill's gone really well as well, isn't he? There's great battles with Damien McMullen all throughout the season, and then Nathan Healy rounding out the GT3.
Yeah.
So overall, classifications on that. Let's see if it hasn't given us. We're back to. Let me see if I can get this, Jack.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But Niall Quinn, David Yamamoto are going to lead this one out.
Yeah, Thomas Sivas, and you can just see that I'm big surprised. Just on pure pace, Keith Dempsey down in 5th on the 3rd row of the grid, and still immense pace from Niall Quinn, David Yamamoto, right in with each other. So away they go from the grid. So they're going to be rolling around full formation lap. So Niall Quinn will get to control this start. David Yamamoto, he will have the outside line for turn 1, so he's got to keep his eye on Niall and where he's going to go. Thomas Sivas as well, and Colin Bays. But Keith needs to do what he did 2 rounds ago and get himself up to nearly up to first within 1 corner. He's not quite in 16th, so it mightn't be a bad job. Evan Walsh on for a great result. That must be his best qualifying of the season, 6th place, and he's sharing the 3rd row with the championship leader.
Having said that, Evan, like some of these drivers were out during the week in the Le Mans Endurance Series, which is run by iRacing. 3 teams from VRA went out, and I think we got a 3rd place in it.
Yeah,
it's the highest result we've ever had. It was 6th, and I think it was Evan's team fought all the way back from last, all the way up into a top 10, I believe, as well. So these guys are all fresh from 6-hour endurance races, so I'm not actually that surprised to see Evan up there. What we're actually seeing here is that the guys who are mid-pack are starting to catch up on the guys at the front. That's really what's going on. Yeah. Peter McMahon and other guys going really, really well in the GTN Cup. Not with us tonight. Had I don't know what it was. Like some kind of failure on the steering wheel. He sent me a pic. It looked like it went on fire, but I'm sure Peter's out there. I don't see him on the chats. But one big risk we have for this tonight is bottom left-hand corner. That man, Niall Quinn. Do you see that picture that's gone up there? This is all new, Jack.
It's all brand new.
I am a little bit concerned because I don't know what pictures the drivers have submitted, so hopefully we don't have anything too offensive coming up.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Every week we're introducing some new form of overlays or graphics. It's getting very sophisticated, but really it's down to the racing tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, it is indeed. So top 10 star as well. Brian McManus, of course, the newly crowned GTN Cup champion as well, drivers champion. So
yeah, I'm gonna say, like, it's surprising to see these guys down this track. All the drivers all week long have been saying that the track temperatures are affecting lap times up to a second and a half in it. So Brian McManus last night was late on. I was watching it, didn't improve, but Evan really put in a crack. I don't know what it was. I think it was a 2-minute dead even. Yeah. So we got to watch those guys. With someone dropping back.
Yeah, it was Keith Dempsey dropping back. They're just starting to form up now as we head towards the last couple of corners. Then Devi Yamamoto, he's got a real shot here, but it's nearly the guys behind the second row who have a better chance of taking second place, because Niall Quinn can control the start. So here we are, of course, with the GT3s. They're separating themselves from the GTE class.
Yeah, they're giving themselves just a little bit of a gap back, which is
exactly what you want.
Smart, because they don't want to be compressing with that accordion effect up into the back of the GT3 cars. I don't think we'll have as much of that through turn 1 here. But let's go back with Niall Quinn.
Yeah. So we had a fantastic battle in the GT3 class actually in the last round, right up to the last couple of minutes battling for the lead. So hopefully we can get that again, and even better if we can get it in the top class in
of course,
GT.
it's dropped rounds to this as well, so you can't really take the championship points as it is right now. Though Niall Quinn is thereabouts. Of course, Keith Dempsey's going to miss the next round. He's away in Rome with us.
Yeah.
So it's going to be wide open for the last 3 rounds.
Yeah.
But here we are with the safety car about to peel in. So let's see how Niall Quinn is going to control this from the front. I'll hand over to you, Jack, because you're more than capable of doing this over me.
Alright, Porsche safety car peels in. Niall Quinn will now get to control the pace as they run towards the line. 22, 23 GTE cars are about to go racing here at Road America. So away they go. Niall Quinn with a fantastic start. Colin Bays with a great start. Evan Walsh with a fantastic start up to 4th already as they run towards turn 1. So it's Colin Bays now challenging Devi Yamamoto as they run down towards turn 1. A long run down towards turn 1 here. So Niall Quinn leads from Devi Yamamoto. It's Colin Bays in 3rd. Evan Walsh up to 4th place. Thomas Sebas down to 5th. Keith Dempsey down to 6th. So it's not the ideal start that he wanted, and he needs to make his way up through the field immediately now. GT3s have got away cleanly by the looks of it. It's Chris Bays who leads that one. So Colin Bays is there. A little bit of a moment in the background. That is Thomas Sebas from 3rd place. Drops down into the grass, and he is off the road here. But as we run on towards this next corner, Davey Yamamoto tucked in under the wing. So GT3, as they go away, it is still Chris Bays from Conor Murphy and Adam Dowling. So that hasn't changed as of yet. And a couple of GTE cars are in the mix there, as they've had problems. But Niall Quinn, perfect start. Davey Yamamoto, good start from him. Colin Bays 3rd. Evan Walsh on it, up to 4th immediately. Keith Dempsey 5th. A couple of drivers dropping down. Sergey looks like he's had a problem. There's a bit of a massive midfield battle going on here. This is Stephen Joyce as these guys battle it out for the tail end. That is Daniel Steinman trying to go around his outside there, as you can see. And here is Jean Montero in the lone Audi, battling away with Ian Malone on the inside line as he tries to sweep around here. And one of the Ferraris getting himself right involved there as well. Jean Montero for the inside line for the next corner. It looks like he should be able to get that done with the drag, and gets it done on the brakes there, but it's still, as we run up further good. This is Evan Walsh. He's got Keith Dempsey tucked under his rear wing.
Look at Evan Walsh.
Yeah, Evan with
good man, Evan,
with the fresh fade. Nicely done, Evan. So he's got the championship leader Keith Dempsey tucked under his rear wing as they run towards this next corner. He's up his inside. There's Keith Dempsey, makes short work of him, and he's up the inside, back into 4th place now. Now Keith really needs to get a move on, because he's really the only man who can match Niall Quinn for pace. So he needs to try and get himself up the grid here. Looks like there's a problem for Petr Kvisis. He's dropping away down the field there. Looks like he's been off the road somewhere. GT3 still nice and close together there. Chris Bays, Conor Murphy, Adam Dowling, Ronan Haderman up to 4th. And this is one of this is actually the battle for the GT3 lead. You can see Conor Murphy getting right underneath Chris Bays' rear wing as they've almost made contact there as they run up the hill. That was one of the GTEs just getting in the way a little bit there. Here comes Conor Murphy though. He's got the run on Chris Bays. This is for the lead in GT3 already. After lap 2, he's up the inside using the slipstream of the BMW up ahead of him. Conor Murphy takes the lead of GT3 on lap 2. Can he get it up the inside of one of the GTE cars as well? That'll be impressive if he can make that work. No, he can't. So Conor Murphy now the new leader of GT3, but Chris Bays still tucked right up underneath him there as they run down the hill. This is Nicky Meredith's made a decent start. Brian McManus just ahead of him in P8. So this, yeah, Nicky Meredith, Brian McManus is a little bit up the road there. He's battling with Sergey. Actually, he's just got ahead of Sergey, who's dropped down to 10th place. And Niall Quinn opening the gap out front. Devi Yamamoto still holding on to that 2nd place, and they're now starting to break away, as you can see. And this is battle of Jordan Kelly. Great start from Jordan Kelly, up to 6th.
Fantastic start from Jordan Kelly. He's been going well all week in this. I think he's enjoying this GTE cars. But he's, again, during the week in the iRacing Championship, he was part of the winning team, and of course winning the GTN Cup as well. Actually sharing the lead for that, but technically Peter McCann had more pole positions, so I think unofficially they took the win in that.
Yeah. So it is still, so that's Jordan Kelly battling with Thomas Seary. He's actually 3rd place man of the championship. He's right up underneath him as they run down towards turn 10. So underneath his rear wing, they're not going to quite get the slipstream this time. Still Niall Quinn from Devi Yamamoto No changes up front as of yet. This is on board with the leader. You can see he's broken away, but David Yamamoto still decent pace, sticking with him. We know how quick Niall is, so decent pace from David Yamamoto. Colin Bays also sticking with him, but lurking in the background, you can see that Castrol liveried BMW, Keith Dempsey. He's charging, trying to catch up to these guys. We're going to keep an eye on the lap times as they cross the line this time. Top 4 still glued together. So you can see Niall Quinn will take the... we're going to sort out the timing screens, of course, but it'll eventually sort itself out, so it should be fastest lap for Niall Quinn. We'll check the gaps, of course. So Niall Quinn, that time, 201.13. David Yamamoto, 201.16. Keith Dempsey, 201.135. They're actually identical lap times as they go through. So Colin Bays is the slowest of the lot of those guys. Timing screen tends to do this sometimes. It'll catch back up on itself after all the drivers have crossed the line here. So Niall Quinn, as you can see, Keith Dempsey, fastest lap of the race that time by. He's catching up to Colin Bays, and David Yamamoto is not letting go of the back of Niall Quinn. It would be great to see David grab a win here, because the only guys who have really won this season have been Niall Quinn, David Yamamoto, Graham Carroll, and of course Marco Sorensen. So there hasn't been quite the mix-up as we wanted. So Daniel Steinman just behind Stephen Joyce in Porsche right there, so he's chasing after him. Daniel, of course, settling into the race right now, and this is your GT3 battle. Conor Murphy's broke away from Chris Bays at this point.
He's actually closing in on the back of the GTE class, isn't he?
Yeah, now it looks like, I think Chris has got damage, as he actually ran into the back of that GTE, and he is actually getting caught. Actually, the fastest lap of the GT3 class has gone to Adam Dowling that time, so he's catching up to these guys a little bit. But Conor Murphy's just built a small 0.6 of a second gap as they run through. 5 minutes gone in this race, 45-minute race, of course. Jean Montero into 6th place. Ronan Haydeman's hanging in there as well in 4th. And this is Brian McManus, Thomas Series, Jordan Kelly, and Evan Walsh about to battle it out. This is going to be a cracking battle. Jordan Kelly just dragged himself up there because he's been trying to hold Thomas Series behind him as well. P6. Evan Walsh now got a massive train of cars behind him, and Nicky Meredith latching onto the back. Remember, he started 12th on the grid. He's had a good start at this point. Niall Quinn crosses the line. David Yamamoto is matching him for pace that time.
He's not pulling away, is he?
He is not pulling away. You can just see how close. They're within 1/10 of a second of each other the whole way, the top 4. So David is right in there, not just maybe on qualifying luck or whatever. He's got the pace to be in there, so it's really great to see. And Evan Walsh 3.5 seconds off of the top 4, and he's got guys latched onto his rear wing. And Jordan Kelly, Thomas Series, Brian McManus, Nicky Meredith, and Sergio Graben about to grab onto that battle as well. So this is Tony Stark.
Flashing his lights there. He's obviously thinks he's a faster man, but I'm just looking at the times here. He's matched on pace for the last one, so he's actually down on pace, so he's been a bit cheeky with it. Seeing the lights flashing in the background, so it's starting to spread out.
Yeah, this is the midfield battle for the top 5 position. Evan Walsh trying to hold on desperately to that top 5. Jordan Kelly bearing down on him. He's clearly got the faster car. As you can see, Thomas Series was the quickest out of a lot of them that time. Keith Dempsey has passed Colin Bays for 3rd place. As we can see, I think Colin's had a problem somewhere, or Keith's just got the move done. He has, so he's making quick work. He's trying to just catch up to Keith, catch up to Niall, excuse me. So he doesn't run away. And David Yamamoto not letting Niall Quinn go at all, only lapping within 0.03 of a second of each other. So this is Keith Dempsey as he chases after the top 2. You can just see them up the road there. They're not far ahead. 7 minutes and 50 seconds gone of this 45-minute race, and the top 3 are still very, very close together. And of course Keith missing the next round. So here is the championship standings as they stand. Keith Dempsey on 170 points. Bear in mind, he's going to miss next week, so this is a crucial race also for Niall Quinn. Get as much points as he can. Niall Quinn second in the championship on 118. Thomas Series 3rd. Olivier Van Herk, he's been nowhere really in this race. He's up to 12th after starting 16th. He's 4th. Thomas Series is 3rd. Sergey's 5th. Tony Stack is 6th. Nicky Meredith, then Colin Bays, Jordan Kelly. Peter McCann, unfortunately, not able to make it in this race. So this is Martin Moore fighting for a podium.
Let's stick with Martin while it's always entertaining with Martin. He's always in the thick of it.
Yeah.
What we might just have a look at, and just introduce some of the people who are tuning into this as well, is there's actually incident racing. So the way iRacing works is, the amount of contact he made with other cars off track. Someone's into the pits
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
Ronan Hayden, and actually Jean Monteiro was about to trying to make a move on Ronan here, but now it looks like Martin Moore's going to capitalise. Jean Monteiro running very, very well today. Best he's run all season so far. Here comes Martin Moore. He's up the inside. He's on the inside as they run towards turn 1. Has he got the move done on the brakes? Zhao's going to try and hang it around the outside in that Audi. Very tricky to do. Hanging it around the outside. Good job from Jean Monteiro. Still side by side they come as they run down the hill. Marty is ahead at this point though. Zhao's still trying to stick his nose in around the outside. You just see a glimpse of that Audi. And in the back you can also see Ian Malone as well in that yellow Mercedes.
Closing right in on the back of the mirror as well, yeah.
This could end up 3 abreast as they run down the hill. Marty needs to build the gap. Zhao will have the slipstream as they run down the hill. You can't even see the cars tucked in underneath the rear wing there. Ian Malone looks like he's the most threatening. Here he comes down the hill then. Can Ian Malone get the move done? Zhao already moves to the inside to defend. He's also trying a move on Marty. Late dive bomb. They all go wide. Ian's going to spin. Zhao runs out wide as well. So Zhao's actually got the move done. He got a massive dive bomb from a long way back. Gets it stopped. Takes back the position from Marty Moore. I think Marty had to open the steering a little bit there just to make sure there wasn't contact. Ian locking up the rears as well, trying to get the thing stopped. But they all managed to sort it out, and Jean Monteiro up to 4th. So there wasn't actually much contact there. As you can see, Zhao only on 1x, 2x and 3x. The limit is of course set on 17. And Niall Quinn, as you can see, on 3. Dave Yamamoto on 1. Keith on 2. Evan Walsh already on 4 out of 10 minutes. So Niall Quinn still leads, by the way, so there hasn't been any change up there. Olivier Van Herk up to 11th.
What I was just going to explain as well, there's a couple of other championships at stake here, so the track cuts are kind of self-explanatory. Once you get to 18, you're basically left. We've seen that in some of the early races. But we've got a gentleman's championship as well, which is currently being led by Niall Quinn and aforementioned Marty Moore. And that is the driver who finishes the race with the least amount of incidents and track cuts. So it's Niall Quinn for Marty Moore, Tony Stack. And then we have the Forever Forward. I think it must be a reference to Dunlop up in this one. But Evan Walsh is the person who's currently leading out the most amount of passes from Tony Stack and Olivia Van Herk. Niall Murray not racing with us tonight. Niall Murray always entertained as well to watch in 4th place. We come back. Stephen Joyce, has he got the move made on Olivia Van Herk? I think
not quite. Olivier's gone wide actually.
He has.
He tried to defend the middle of the road and he just saw he came off the brake and back on again. He couldn't get it stopped. So Stephen Joyce back into 11th place now, takes the position away from Olivier. And this is the battle down in. This is
Jay Malone
for the tail end. So he goes through past. That's one of the lap GTEs, I would imagine. Jay Moylan, and there's your GTE3 2nd place man. Chris Bay is struggling.
Let's go back to Evan Walsh and watch this because this
He's
is
gone wide. Brian McManus has gone past all of these guys up to 6th place. So Brian's come through. So obviously somebody's had a problem there. Because Evan Walsh, I think it was Jordan Kelly, he must have been in the pit lane. That must have been why. Brian McManus just comes out of nowhere now. He's up to 6th place. And now he's going to be fighting with Evan. Thomas Series right behind him as well. Nicky Meredith in there as well. So Brian versus Evan Walsh. It's going to be an interesting battle here between these guys. So on the power through the last couple of corners then. Brian's going to be looking for the slipstream up this next part of the circuit.
Sorry Evan, but I'm just going to have to hide that photograph. We can't just stare at Evan's profile picture during the whole race there.
So Brian tucked right, but you see Evan going a tiny touch wide there. I think Brian's got the run on him as they run up the hill then. But we'll cross the line, they'll come to complete another lap. As you can see, the lap times up front, almost identical. Here comes Brian McManus. He's going to have to move to the outside. Evan's defending that inside line with all of his life. Brian McManus onto the outside line as they run towards turn 1. Can he get it stopped on the brakes? Looks like he's ahead as they run towards turn 1. Here comes Thomas Series with a late move around the outside as well. Trying to hold on. Evan manages to hold on. Thomas Series, that's how close it was. Shuts the door in his face. Evan Walsh is still in 6th place, but he's under pressure from Thomas Series. As you can see, 3rd place man of the championship, but Brian McManus managing to get through, takes 5th position away, and he's on for another good finish today. So now can Thomas Series also get past Evan Walsh as they run down the hill once again? He's tucked up underneath. Is Evan maybe going to try anything to come back at Brian McManus? Not quite, a little bit too far back. Goes very deep on the brakes actually, goes a little bit wide. Thomas Series manages to just stick his nose in and not quite going to get the run out that he needed. All this is
Jordan Kelly in the mind, and I'm just looking in the background here, so just keep an eye on it. It's action all over the track at the moment, so this is a great race.
Yeah, Jordan Kelly around the outside of Petrivicius, and up ahead is Brandon Neans as well. He's just up the road, so it looks like Petrivicius is just going to hold on to that position. Jordan Kelly falls back. Thomas Sivas, of course, terrible start. He started 3rd, to remind you. Thomas Sivas, he's all the way down at the tail end of the field after just spinning off. And Jordan Kelly, has been into the pit lane. That's why he is so far down, unless we missed an off.
Let's just go back up to Evan Walsh and this guy on the cars.
He's got 3 cars tucked up underneath his rear wing. As you can see, you can barely see them. So here comes Thomas Series then. He's going to be the one Evan is defending. As you can see, bringing him all the way to the grass. Watch for Nicky Meredith as well. Trying to come around the outside. Thomas Series late on the brakes, trying to come around the outside. So he goes wide. Nicky Meredith says, thank you very much. So here he comes, tucks up underneath them, side by side up the hill. Great racing between all these guys. Here comes Nicky Meredith around the outside, gets it done on Thomas Series. As they run towards the last corner, Evan has now got a little gap, but Nicky Meredith, opportunistic as ever, up to 7th place. Thomas Series not going to have any of it though, comes back at him through the last corner, underneath his rear wing as they run up the hill for the next couple of times now. And here comes Thomas Series, back to the outside line as well. Who's got the better straight line speed is the question now. Thomas Series still there on the outside. Nicky's got to give him the space as they run towards turn 1. Evans now built a small gap. All this is helping him. So Thomas Series, can he get it done around the outside? Nicky's going to defend that inside line. Thomas Series all the way around the outside. What a move from Thomas Series. Nicky just got a little bit shallow on the curb there, trying to now come back at him again, but just can't quite get a great move. Thomas Series not done yet though. Here comes Nicky Meredith again in the slipstream. He's pulled again alongside down the hill. A full lap of battling we've had now. Nicky Meredith's on the outside as they run down the hill. Better straight line speed in that BMW. So down the hill they come again. Thomas Series will have the inside line, but can Nicky Meredith get it done around the outside? He's going to have a longer way around this time. Round the outside, still neck and neck as they run through. And still neck and neck as they run up the hill. Thomas Series on the inside, still neck and neck as they come around the Corvette bridge. Still side by side as they come out. Thomas Series gets it done eventually. So he is ahead. But that is going to be a battle that's going to rage on for a while as they run down again. A little bit loose from Thomas Series as they run down the hill. Is Nicky Meredith going to try anything on the brakes? Not quite. So Thomas Series goes like that. He does go a little bit deep though, but again, it looks like they've sorted it out for a little bit longer. What a battle between Nicky Meredith and Thomas Series.
Meanwhile, while all that was going on, this is in the background with Tony Stack and Linus James Dowling. This gaggle of cars is just, you can't miss the racing on this one.
Can't take your eyes off of Tony Stack on the back of Pekavicius, James.
And now we have Thomas as well. Is something going wrong there? No, it's still Nicky Meredith. Let's go on board with Nicky and see what's going to happen here.
Got the slipstream actually as they run towards this next part of the circuit. Got a massive run, but Thomas Series, very very good braker as you can see. Last of the late breakers, manages to carry the momentum through the corner. Gets a little bit loose though, as you can see, so he'll have the run.
Capitalise on that, I would say.
He very much is going to capitalise on this. So here he comes from the last corner. Thomas using as much of the road as he possibly can. And Nicky tucked right up, and he should get a good slipstream now as they run to the last corner. So here he comes, and as you can see, Niall Quinn is now flying up front. He's nearly gone a second quicker than Davey Yamamoto. So here comes Nicky Meredith again. This battle, round 2. Here we go. Nicky Meredith on the outside. So Nicky Meredith with the overspeed. He is ahead before they get to turn 1. That's the power of that BMW. He's already ahead. Didn't even have to try it on the brakes. I think they're now going to work together. Evan Walsh has had a problem. He's dropping down. What has happened to Evan Walsh? Dropping all the way. Oh, he's off the road. Off the road is Evan Walsh, down to 11th place, and that's unfortunate for him. Now he's going to get right in the middle of this battle between Olivier Van Herk and Daniel Stuyman. So it looks like that Olivier Van Herk's trying to get that top 10 position. You can just see Daniel is ahead as they come through there. So good job from Daniel to get through. Unfortunate from Evan Walsh. So Thomas, I think he's given up on battling. I think it is losing them time in battling.
Adam Dowling's been in the wars as well. Just looking back down the grid is. No, sorry, he's made up a position, so he's made up actually 2 positions. So Adam going quite well.
Yeah, Jean Montero still running in 4th.
So all the GTs, just to call them out, is Conor Murphy. It's kind of spread out now in the GT3 class. So Chris Bayes and Adam Dowling in 3rd place. Just looking back down, Linus had a problem. Has he gone off? No,
he's out.
He's out. He's had 2. So that he's fallen prey to that rule we were talking about. So promotes Marty Moore. His 2 positions up going well, so we'll just see, is Marty gone as well?
No,
he's still in.
Nope, there he is. You just see
David Yamamoto
under pressure from Keith Dempsey.
Let's keep an eye on this one for a while.
Yeah, so you can see David Yamamoto, it now falls into the thing of keeping up this electric pace for the entire race.
He's been doing well though.
Very, very well, David Yamamoto. So you can see Niall Quinn's now 2 seconds up the road. Keith has to get past him quickly if he wants to try and jump Niall. Because we're almost 20 minutes into this race now, and it's looking like Niall Quinn is going to take this unless he has a problem, because they're just so evenly matched up pace. 201.6, 202.0. Keith Dempsey 201.3, so he's the quickest out of the top 3 at the moment. Colin Bayes, haven't said much about him. He's 4th, still running well. Brian McManus is 5th. Nicky Meredith is now 6th. Sergio Grabman is 7th. Little mention to James Holman, P8. Great job from him. And looks like Thomas Series has had a problem. He's dropped down. He's in the pit lane. That's why. So Thomas Series is into the pit lane for his stop.
Jordan Kelly.
This is on Brad. So Jordan Kelly trying to come around the outside of Brad O'Neill's on board the Ferrari. Can he get that run that he needs? Trying to come around the outside of turn 1. Tricky move to make. Brad very late on the brakes, manages to hold on to it, but now he'll have a little switchback line. Brad covers the inside. Jordan Kelly going to come to the outside line now. So nice bit of racing. Gives him a right old squeeze. Jordan Kelly very late on the brakes, trying to come around the outside. Brad's not having any of it. There's almost contact, running him right out to the grass. He's not going to let him by without a fight, but Jordan Kelly firmly stuck his nose in there and manages to keep himself alongside. They run down the hill. This isn't done yet, by the way. Jordan Kelly still needs to get it done on the brakes. A little bit of a swerve there from Brad, almost touching as they come down the hill. Jordan Kelly, has he got it done on the brakes? Yes, he has. Now can Brad come back at him? Not quite. That was an amazing bit of driving from Jordan Kelly, and brave driving from Jordan Kelly as well. Brad O'Neill's defending very, very hard, but it just wasn't enough to keep Jordan Kelly behind. That allowed Thomas Sivas just close up a little bit in this race now. But Jordan Kelly, great move, bravery at its finest right there.
So just looking, David Yamamoto under a lot of pressure now, so let's keep an eye with these two.
At the same time, Keith's not able to catch him because it hasn't come down. That gap's nearly gone up at the end, half a second. So Keith, is he struggling in traffic? Because Niall Quinn 2.3, he's got clean air and he has nobody to worry about him. So got just one of the GT3s into the pits there. So for his stop,
it's 2.5 seconds out in front. It's not. Let's just go back to that. He's looking very comfortable on this. His last lap is a 2:01.6 compared to his best at 2:01.1. So
yeah, 2:01.9 for Yamamoto, 2:01.8 for Keith Dempsey. So they're very, very close, Yamamoto and Dempsey. And this is Stephen Joyce on James Holman. Little mention to James Holman, actually running very well in the top 10.
Has he got him? I think he has.
He's going to have to get it done on the brakes unless James fights this one. Stephen Joyce on the inside line of James Holman. Can you get it done into turn 1? Yes, he can. He's already ahead in the braking zone. So Keith Dempsey's got him.
I don't know.
He's just got.
Did we miss it?
Yeah, we missed it. I think he's just got it done at the bottom of the hill there. Is David going to come back at him now is the question, or is he just going to let Keith away? Best thing David can do now is try to latch onto the back of Keith and let him drag him to Niall. Yeah. So now is the question. Keith Dempsey back to second. Can he catch Niall Quinn? Is going to be the big question.
He didn't look like it. It just shows how much straight line speed that BMW has down that straight. So looking back down at the back of the GTE, Stefan is he's not able to do any damage onto the back of Tony Stack there at all. Let's just run down. So it's Niall Quinn from Keith Dempsey, David Yamamoto, Colin Bays, Brian McManus up 4 positions, Nicky Meredith up 6 positions. Those two are having a great race, aren't they? Sergey Grabin, we haven't looked at Sergey all day. Always there or thereabouts, a top 10, even a top 5 racer, but great livery on that car as well.
Yeah.
Stephen Joyce behind. Has he got him in sight? I don't think so at the moment. Then it's the James Holman, Daniel Steisman, Evan Walsh down 5 places. He'll be kicking himself whatever happened there. I'm sure we'll hear all about it in the group chat later on. Jordan Kelly then, what a great race he's been having.
Yeah, and he's taking a pit stop as well. Yeah. So he's well in contention.
Fresh boots, so we'll see. Brad O'Neill's out behind. Is he out behind? I can see.
Yeah, he is behind him. After defending very hard, Thomas Sivas. Remember, he started third on the grid. He ended up in the grass in turn 3. So it's not been a good day for him.
He hasn't been able to really get. So I'm wondering, has he got damage to the car? Probably has.
Yeah, I imagine so. And then Navicus running in 15th. James Dowling is 16th. And then we have Tony Stack and Stefan Kvistgaard are rounding out there. And they're having a little bit of a scrap here, Stefan and Tony Stack. Stefan Kvistgaard looking for the move on Tony Stack. So no matter where you are on the grid, there'll always be battles between all these guys. They're all battling for pride's sake. Thomas Sivas into the pit lane for his stop as well. So we're just talking about him there. And in comes James Dowling in the Golf livery BMW.
Cool looking car.
Very cool looking car. Update on GT3 as well. It's still Conor Murphy who's leading that by quite a margin. And just as we say that, Chris Bays into the pits for his stop as well from second place. Yeah, leading the race. He nearly got the win last time out, but it looks like he's going to have it this time. Olivier Van Herk, terrible race so far from Olivier. He's always been top 5 so far this season, but so it's not been a good day. This is Niall Quinn on board just underneath the front splitter, so you can get an idea of the sheer speed these guys are doing as they come down the hill. And there is one of the lapped cars just in the distance is Keith Dempsey. So he's behind that lapped car, as you can see. So he's got a good gap as Niall Quinn.
He's really been controlling that as well. So
yeah, all the GT3s have almost come in apart from Colin Murphy. So he's trying to get an overcut on, trying to come out in front. So this could work maybe in Chris Bay's favour. So we'll keep an eye on that. Gian Montero is in as well. And that'll put Rob O'Neill up to third. Actually, he's in the Soul BMW Z4 GT3. Awesome car. James Holman, there he is. He's trying to keep with Jordan Kelly, of course. And Jordan Kelly, he is actually reeling in Sergey as well. So Sergey, of course, has to stop as well. And so these guys have all got to close in as well. That's actually Stephen Joyce ahead. A similar livery to Jordan Kelly. There's Adam Dowling in second place now in GT3. And just a ways of the road, he's actually got his decent pace. Has got Adam Dowling. He's the fastest. He's almost the fastest man out on track at the moment. Conor Murphy just a ways up the road, a couple of seconds, 2 or 3 seconds maybe, up the road. And Keith now starting to match Niall Quinn up front, as you can see. 2:01.5 for Keith Dempsey, 2:01.7 for Niall Quinn. So, is it enough? Is the question. It's going to have to be done on the pit stops, if anywhere else, because they're just so evenly matched on pace. It's almost impossible to make anything work there. I actually thought Jordan Kelly would come in. He actually hasn't, so he hasn't made any stops yet. Evan Walsh and Daniel Steinman are in for their stops. Olivier Van Herk and Thomas Sears are the only ones out of these guys who have stopped, so maybe they might gain a few positions off of that. So Keith Dempsey, David Yamamoto still running very well in third place, and Colin Bayes exactly where he started, fourth place. Just saw how hard Keith Dempsey was trying there, kicking up grass as they run down the hill there. So he's trying really, really hard to catch up to Niall Quinn, and it's going to be really, really cool to see how he gets on. So as you can see, Daniel Steinman and Evan Walsh into the pit lane for their stops, and Niall Quinn still out front by quite a small margin. Thomas Sebas making up positions now as they run through the last couple of phases. Only 20 minutes left in this race, so not long at all. And here comes Niall now he's got to deal with lapped traffic. This is going to be obviously going to be a story of the GT3 races as well. These guys have got to negotiate the traffic without losing much time, which is always a tough ask. So Niall Quinn going to try and make his way through past this Ferrari, flashing his light, letting him know he's there, and through he goes without too much problems. So up the hill he'll go. That'll be one of the GT3s peeling into the pit lane now, and that's one of the guys running down the back in that session. So we'll keep an eye on the lap times that time by Niall Quinn. What has he done that time? 2:02.2. He's dropping into the 2:02s, as is Keith Dempsey, so they're almost identical on times right there. So it's going to be really, really hard to for Keith to make any ground whatsoever. Only 3 seconds behind. David Yamamoto still hanging in there in third place. Colin Bayes fourth. Brian McManus on the same pace as the leaders, by the way, in fifth place. So he's only a couple of seconds behind. Nicky Meredith into the pits, Sergey into the pits, and here is Conor Murphy with Chris Bayes behind him. So Conor Murphy, as he dropped away, Chris Bayes has caught up to him quite substantially. Now obviously he may have made a pit stop, so Chris Bayes has closed up quite a ways after the pit stops, as you can see, and that's one of the GT3s going to get in the way there, so they're going to be lapping these guys. So let's have a look. As you can see, on board with Chris Bayes as he chases after the race leader in GT3, Conor Murphy. These guys had a scrap last time out as well, so let's see if that's going to happen again. Obviously Chris will have that damage repaired before they come around the next time. So down the hill, running through turn 8 into turn 9. We'll keep you updated on the Niall Quinn Keith Dempsey battle. It looks like there's been a problem for Brad. That's just coming to the pit lane. That's Chris going wide there, as you can see, but he is catching Conor Murphy. Only a second and a half between them. Chris is pushing. Wants that 3 from 3 in the GT3 class. So let's see if he can do that. Back to your race leader, Niall Quinn. How is he getting on? Not much between them. Keith Dempsey 2.6 behind. He's catching quite substantially. Roland Haderman's planted himself in between there, as you can see in the GT3 class. In comes Niall Quinn for his stop. Keith Dempsey stays out. So this is going to be a crucial phase of the race right now. Keith Dempsey takes the lead. Niall Quinn into the pits for his stop. David Yamamoto is also going to stay out. So Niall Quinn is the first to dive in from the leaders, and Keith Dempsey has decided he wants to stay out for a few more laps to try and gain some time, and he's now immediately banged on a 2:01.8. So he's flying. Brian McManus into the pits, Stephen Joyce into the pits, James Holman is in as well. So we'll see how these guys sort themselves out in the end. But Keith has now got to push like hell to see if he can get himself closed up to Niall Quinn. He was closing up in that phase as well, but just before he brought the gap down by about a second. So he's got a chance. So Niall Quinn in, Brian McManus in, Stephen Joyce, James Holman, Jordan Kelly now going to gain a few positions out of that as well. So Niall Quinn on the pit exit, he's back out on the circuit now, back in 4th place. So let's see what can Keith do. Can he jump him at all as they come through? So
Niall Quinn's back out, by the way, so that's his pit stop over. So where does that bring Niall out? In 4th position with Jordan Kelly behind. So he's out in clean air. The real question now is, what's Keith Dempsey going to do?
He decided he saw what Niall Quinn was doing and decided not to do it. So he obviously decided to do what Niall doesn't. And David Yamamoto's also decided to stay out as well. Colin Bayes also the same as well. So Jordan Kelly and Tony Stacks still get to make stops. So everybody behind has made stops. Keith is trying hard, bouncing over the curbs through that section. Really, really good stuff. He is trying so hard. And this is exactly what we want to see. We want to see these guys pushing themselves as hard as they can from a poor qualifying. He's on for a podium anyway, so it doesn't really matter. As you can see, the time delta there, you saw that that's back to Yamamoto, so you can see he's been gaining time. So now he's got a lap to VRA to make his way past on the apex. Now is he I think he's going to be coming into the pit lane this time. He's got to respond, and in he comes. So in comes Keith Dempsey from the lead of this race. David Yamamoto's going to follow him in. Colin Bayes in the background is going to follow him in as well. So how much has Niall gained is the question. And that's Rob O'Neill just behind him in the Z4 GT3 car. An extremely crucial phase of the race right here. A long pit lane as well here in Road America. So I would imagine Niall is going to jump him, but I think it's going to be quite close. Depends on how quick Dempsey's stop is. So Niall Quinn's through the last corner at this rate. Niall is definitely going to jump him unless Dempsey's on his way out now, which I don't think he is.
He's moving.
He's stopped at the end of the box. So you'll see Niall Quinn flash past here now just in a moment's time. Out comes Dempsey. There's Niall Quinn. It's quite close actually, but he doesn't have the momentum.
Big sideways from Yamamoto on the way as well. So Yamamoto actually suffered from the end of that. It's Chris Bayes not able to close up. Not at that stage. So Dempsey comes out 1.8 seconds.
He's gained time in the stops, so it was a great stop from his team, and he's now got his eyes set on trying to catch up to Niall Quinn. I think it's opened out to 2.5 now after all the stops. But after all the stops, Nicky Meredith's got to 5th, and he's battling with Brian McManus. So this is going to be a fantastic battle. We saw how good the battle between these guys and Thomas Series was. So now Nicky's got another battle on his hands.
Nicky Meredith's come up 7 positions, up to 5th place now at this stage. That's an epic race from Nicky. He's got his pit stop done.
Yeah, and come out in the top 5. It'd be a great result from him. A little mention Evan Ross is recovering well. He's back up to 10th again. And Jordan Kelly after stop is 14th now. So there is not much between these guys. He's got Thomas Sivas just ahead of him. Daniel Steinman and Olivier Van Hert.
Let's go back. Nicky Meredith, McManus.
Yeah, now I wonder, has Meredith just passed Brian McManus on pace? We didn't quite see it, but by the looks of it, he has. So now let's see. The question is going to be if Nicky can open the gap from Brian. Up the road a little bit is Colin Bayes, and he's settled into a good 4th place.
Let's just keep an eye on this.
Yeah, you got to run on Thomas Siwas, who started 3rd on the grid, and just ahead of those guys is one of the lap GT3 cars. I believe that's Ronan Haderman just ahead of them. Chris Bayes, Conor Murphy still leads GT3. Adam Delling still 3rd place. That gap's only 1.8 seconds. That's very close, as it has been all race. Gap before still not changing. And now Jordan Kelly trying with the run. He's now got to negotiate past this GT3 as well. Very close. Manages to negotiate it. So GT3 getting well out of the way, best as he could there. And Jordan Kelly now trying his best to get past Thomas Sivas. Down through turn 8. Keep in mind lap times up front. You can see that'll be due to a pit stop. You can see the gap there. So David Yamamoto still on.
Sergio's absolutely flying in 7th place. We were just saying he's always there or thereabouts, but such a fair and clean racer. So just keep an eye. Sergio got a pit stop done. He does. So everyone's got their pit stops done. So this is really it now. This is a run to the line with 12 minutes to go.
Yeah, Stephen Joyce also good pace. He's been slowly reeling in Sergey. James Holman still inside the top 10 as well, so good result. Evan Walsh 10th, and Olivier Van Herk just a little ways behind there. This is Nathan Healy with Damien McMullen. Yeah, so these guys have been battling it out all season so far. So always good battling between these guys. Great to have
talking
them.
about Sergey just back there. So let's see. This is Stephen Joyce and Sergey. Let's stick with these guys.
Yeah, Stephen's got a great run down the hills. He's going to have to see. Sergey's going to defend the inside line as you would. So here comes Stephen Joyce. Can he get it on the brakes? Sergey late on the brakes. Going to take a shallower line through, but might give Stephen the cutback. But Sergey defended that very, very well indeed.
He did. In fairness.
So a great drive out of that corner, kept himself ahead. But Stephen Joyce is all over his rear wing, and let's see if Sergey can hold it back.
These guys have got it done. I think.
Yeah, Nathan
Healy's got past. We missed that as well. Damien McMullen. But it's always good to just show all the racing that's going on around the grid. Nicky
Meredith on the back of Colin Bays for 4th place by the looks of it. Well, he's not far off actually. I believe that was actually Colin. That's Colin Bay's gap to David Yamamoto actually. So Colin is catching 3rd place. He might be on for a podium here. And that up there, that's Nicky Meredith, who has built a gap over Brian. So Nicky's on. That's a fantastic drive so far from Nicky at this point in time. There is Sergey and Stephen Joyce still battling in the background. Just see them in the background there. It's be interesting to see if those guys can bring themselves into the mix as well.
Absolutely. Let's just do a rundown through the GT3. So Connor Murphy, a fantastic job out in front. Chris Bays
right there,
quick guy behind him, closed right in that gap. Then back 3rd place, Adam Dowling. He's done a great job. Yeah. I mean, more or less keeping himself out of trouble all day.
Jean Montero has this is the best drive he's had so far. Top 5 in GT3 so far. Jonas Ferrovicis, he's running down the back. But Jean Montero in the R8, brilliant drive so far today. This will be his best result in the top 5.
He'll be delighted if he can play in there, yeah.
Ian Malone as well, top 5 finish, should be happy with that. Rob O'Neill, great drives today as well.
Round of applause for Rob O'Neill. That's up 6th place, I believe, from where he started on the grid. So he started.
He's pretty much last. Yeah, pretty much last in the grid.
Now Marty Moore,
7th place. So he's got that battle of Sergey and Stephen Joyce behind him. So he's just getting lapped at the moment. And that battle is actually going on. So now Stephen Joyce is trying for the move. As you can see, he's on the outside line as they run towards this corner. You just see them behind Marty Moore. He's tried to do this before, but Sergey has managed to hold him off that time around. Let's see, he has managed to keep himself ahead. They are still side by side, but Sergey is ahead as they run through. So he's just managed to keep himself, and this is allowing James Holman to come into this as well. So he's coming in. Evan Walsh is coming too. So he's trying to recover some pride that he lost earlier. And he's latched onto the back of James Holman. So Evan Walsh trying to latch himself onto the back of James Holman there. So there is Evan, latched onto the back of James, and let's see how he's getting on. So there's Evan Walsh with that purple Ferrari right behind him. And Evan, of course, started top 5, but he hasn't had the best times. And just saw Nicky Meredith. He's lost that position. Let's go back to Nicky Meredith. Brian has managed to retake that 5th position. So this battle rages on. Nicky's made a mistake somewhere, trying to come back down the inside of Brian McManus, and side by side they go. This is the battle for the top 5 position. Brian McManus has managed to just nip ahead that time, and that gap up front has dropped down to nearly just 2 seconds. So 2:01.6. So it looks like Keith has taken a big chunk out of Niall Quinn's lead as well. So this battle is going to come. This is down to lap traffic. As you can see, there's Niall Quinn and Keith Dempsey not far behind. He's lapping Ian Malone, as you can see there. So you can see the gap has come down by nearly half a second that time. So it's not bad at all. So let's see. Brian McManus still just about ahead of Nicky Meredith, but Nicky's got the run down the hill underneath Briggs and Stratton Bridge. He's going to try and move on the brakes. Goes very late on the brakes. Late move. Can he get it done? Brian McManus is going to come back at him on the way out. So they're side by side as they run down the hill. This is the battle for 5th position, I remind you. And in the background is the battle between Sergey and Stephen Joyce. These guys might catch up in the end, but down the hill they come neck and neck. Brian McManus versus Nicky Meredith. Great battle so far. And that battle behind is closing in on them as well. Brian McManus trying to hang on, but Nicky Meredith's got that inside line, which is so crucial, and he manages to retake 5th position. Brian's going to have the run on the outside line though, as you can see, and he just manages to nip ahead. back to this battle between Evan Walsh and James Holman. Manages to nip ahead, so James manages to hold on, and these guys are very, very close. But back, this is the crucial battle between our race leaders. There's massive lap traffic which is getting in the way of Niall Quinn, and Dempsey's brought the gap down to 1.2 seconds for the race lead. This is going to get really, really interesting. Look at the gap now, it's only a second as they run through. Keith Dempsey has caught Niall Quinn in the space of doing that lap traffic, and now with only 5 minutes left, can Keith grab the race win at the dying moments from Niall Quinn? It's going to be really interesting, but he got to watch those off tracks. He's on 9x, as you can see. Nicky Meredith, he's still just ahead, but Brian McManus is not letting that go. He really wants to keep that 5th position. So as you can see, trying his hardest, trying his best to keep ahead. Colin Bays, he's been having a lonely race in 4th place for the past lap or so. Here comes Brian McManus though, he's got the run, trying to come around the outside, but not going to be able to do that there. But I'll give a shallower line for him for the next runner. Rob O'Neill is going to be just in the way of these guys as well.
Swamped.
Yeah, going to be swamped by these guys, so just going to get done on the exit there.
Rob.
Yeah, Rob's going to get himself well out there, but he's giving Brian McManus the run. So here comes Brian McManus on the outside line, as you can see, running down towards turn 1. They're going to be neck and neck as they run through, and we're going to keep an eye on the battle up front as well. That gap's coming down as well, so this is going to go right to the line. So here comes Brian McManus around the outside of turn 1. Can he get him stopped? It's straight line speed, and the BMW is going to keep him ahead. Brian McManus sweeping around the outside line. Great move, Brian. Oh, they make contact, and Brian's going to head into the wall, is he? Yes, he is. It was contact made. Look at Sergey going to come through as well. Stephen Joyce is up to 5th place now, as you can see. And look at the gap up front. Keith Dempsey is absolutely pushing like a madman, as you can see. And he's closing into Keith Dempsey, but he got to watch the off track, so you can see up to 11x. He really, really wants this race win, but Niall, he's just doing enough to keep himself ahead, but the gap is 1.1 seconds, so that lap traffic has really cost him. Look at this gaggle of cars. Stephen Joyce versus Sergey versus James Holman. Evan Walsh around the outside of James Holman, trying anyway, and that's Brian McManus. He's going to be in the middle of this battle now as well, and Olivier Van Herk's recovered to 10th, so a great drive from him. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars battling for this position, and Stephen Joyce is going to be on for a great result of 5th place if he can hold on to this as well. But Evan Walsh trying to recover as well. There is Olivier Van Herk at the top of the hill there, recovering from his poor qualifying. Brian McManus makes his way past James Holman, so he hasn't picked up too much damage by the looks of it, but Stephen Joyce trying to build the gap there, one of the GT3s. Rob O'Neill is going to be right in this as well. But Niall Quinn, after getting through the lap traffic, he's opening the gap out just a little bit again. So Keith, he's trying his best, but he really needs Niall to just run slightly wide somewhere, otherwise it's just not going to happen for him, unfortunately. This is Thomas Sievers and Daniel Steinman battling it out for 11th place, just tail end of the top 10. So Thomas Sievers, can he get it done? Not quite. Back to this battle. Stephen Joyce has just built a small gap now. Evan Walsh trying to hold off Brian McManus. He's trying to make his way past Sergey as well. So can Evan Walsh get back into 6th place, just recover what he lost earlier in the slipstream? Can he get past this Porsche? It's going to be really tricky. They're the same powertrain. He's in the slipstream though. He's got a great run down towards turn 1. Sergey's going to go to the middle of the road. Where is Evan Walsh going to go? Going to move to the outside line as they run towards turn 1. Onto the outside line, onto the brakes. Can he sweep around the outside? Yes, he can. Great move, Evan Walsh. Not bad at all around the outside. Gets it done on Sergey. Is into 6th place now. Can Brian McManus follow? Just behind. He's going to try and lay on the brakes. Sergey's going to just leave him enough room to work with. And now he's going to have the slipstream down towards his next part in the circuit. And as you can see, Olivier Van Herk is closing in, and he's having a great drive, trying to recover from his earlier poor qualifying. 42.5 minutes gone of this race. Gap up front is back down to 9/10 of a second. It's getting really, really close up front, and it's almost going to be too close to call. Keith has got Niall Quinn's rear wing in his sights, but can he catch is the question. Now just Brian McManus just saw him making the move on Sergey up the inside. He's got it done, so he's into 7th place. He got it done eventually, and Evan Walsh now built a small gap, and now he's going to try and catch back up to Stephen Joyce. He started 5th. He started 6th, sorry. He's back to where he started, but can he just go a little bit better and get himself up ahead? So 43 minutes gone of this race. So by the looks of it, this lap by may be the last lap. It'll be the checkered flag by the time they cross the line, and the gap is 7/10 of a second between Quinn and Dempsey as we go on to the last lap here in Road America. Is it going to be Dempsey or is it going to be Quinn? He was almost a second quicker that lap round. What is he going to be able to do? Is he going to be able to make it past? This is going to be really intriguing to watch. It's a 2-minute lap around here, so the checker flag is going to wave before we get to the end of this lap. So can Keith grab the win from Niall, or can Niall hold on for one more lap to keep Dempsey behind? It's going to be interesting. Of course, Keith's going to be jetting off to Rome very, very shortly to compete in the the FIA Motorsport Games. So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on there, of course. But now he's focused on getting past Niall Quinn. He's been chipping away at that gap. You can see how close he is, but he's not. He's running out of time. The timer's going to tick over by the time we get to the end of this lap. So he's got to do it now. He needs Niall to make a mistake somewhere. And I think as Evan Walsh made another mistake. Oh, Evan is out of the race on the last lap, is he? Oh, Evan has made a huge error somewhere. He's dropped out. He's gone to the 14X. I think he's gone into the wall at some point there. But Dempsey, he's trying hard. He's been lashing away at that gap for the past, well, pretty much for the entire race so far. There's not long left though. He's only got a couple of corners left to go. You're going to see the timer tick over very, very shortly. 20 seconds left on the clock until we cross the line. James Holman battling away with Sergey. Brian McManus is up to 6th. Stephen Joyce is 5th. So Olivier Van Herk has recovered to 9th. And here you can see Niall Quinn with Keith Dempsey. He's only half a second behind. There's only a couple of corners left to go. Anything can happen in these last couple of corners. Keith is trying his hardest, trying to catch up to Niall Quinn. This is the closest we've seen this fight go. And they come towards the last corner. It'll take a mistake from Niall Quinn in this last corner to put Keith Dempsey on the top step through the last corner. It's going to almost be a run for the line. Keith's going to try his hardest, but Niall Quinn's going to hold on at this rate. Coming up towards the line, he's going to have the slipstream, so he'll have a long run to the line, but it looks like Niall Quinn is going to hold on and win round 5 of the VRA GT Pro Champions. What a drive, Niall Quinn. What a drive, Keith Dempsey. What a great battle between those guys. And coming to the line here is this battle between Brian, Sergey and James Holman. Quick mention as well, Davey Yamamoto, 3rd place.
3rd place for Davey Yamamoto. Just going to call it in. Looks like Colin Bays is going to get 4th.
Stephen Joyce.
But let's just stay with these. This looks like Jordan Kelly as well. It's all racing at the back of this.
Yeah.
Brian McManus
holding on for 6th place, is he? It's coming through the last corner now. He's going to be able to hold on. Looks like he will in the end, unless there's a slipstream. James Holman on for 8th. Olivier Van Herk has come from virtually nowhere to come through the 9th as well. That's a great result for him as well. And Thomas Sivas as well. He was in the wall in lap 1 and he's come back to 10th. It's a great job. Daniel Steinman and Jordan Kelly having the runs to the line in the background. That was very close. Daniel Steinman just keeping Jordan Kelly at bay. That was 0.02 of a second, the gap across the line. Thomas Series, that's going to hurt his championship. He was 3rd and he's now going to finish 13th in this race. I'm just going to keep an eye on GT3. Has Conor Murphy managed to clinch the win? There is the question. He's coming through the last corner. This is going to displace Chris Bays. Chris Bays has won every race in the GT3 class so far. So this is going to be a great drive from Conor Murphy. First win in GT3. Just got to keep it together for the last 2 corners here. And you can see Chris Bays, he wasn't far off in the end. But coming through the last corner right now, you're going to see Conor Murphy come through. A brand new winner in GT3. Drove sublimely all race. It was Chris Bays on pole, but that didn't matter in the end. Crosses the line, a new winner in GT3. Conor Murphy wins GT3 here in Road America. Chris Bays is 2nd, and it looks like Adam Dowling is going to grab that 3rd place, and João Monteiro is 4th. That's a great drive from him as well. So great race all around. I reckon if there was just another lap left, I think Dempsey would have got Quinn.
Do you reckon?
I think he would. He was right there. But great drive from Niall Quinn. That's exactly what he needed. And of course, Dempsey going to miss the next round as he's going to be in Rome. So Niall Quinn's going to gain some points.
Well, we were always going to have that in this championship, Jack. There was going to be dropped rounds, and while it was a lot of I think the last 3 races we're going to see a lot of change going on. But that is really great from Conor Murphy. Sergey, I think. Yeah, these guys aren't still racing there, but what a great race he's had. So let's just go to our results and see how did we
look at the gap at the top. 0.4 of a second as they cross the line between Niall Quinn and Keith Dempsey. So Niall Quinn wins round 5 ahead of Keith Dempsey. Davey Yamamoto with a great podium in 3rd. Colin Bays just drove his own race, finished 4th. Stephen Joyce, great drive, top 5 finish. Brian McManus fought hard for that 6th place. You can see how close it was across the line. 0.3 of a second, as you can see there. James Holman 8th. Olivier Van Herk fought back to 9th place. So he started in virtually down the back. Thomas Siebas recovers to 10th. Daniel Steinman, Jordan Kelly, 0.02 of a second as they crossed the line between those guys. Thomas Series, Remigus Navikas, Tony Stack, Stefan Chrisgard, and James Dowling round out the GTE class. Conor Murphy is your new winner in GT3 with Chris Bays and Adam Dowling rounding out the podium there, with João Monteiro in 4th place. So great drive from João there, best result he's had all season long. And you can see Evan Walsh last lap binned it in the wall. Unfortunate for him, and hopefully he can recover. But a great qualifying. He showed some good pace, so hopefully Evan can recover later on in the season.
We'll get these overlays figured out for the next time. But that was always a pleasure, Jack, to have you along.
Yeah.
Driver of the race?
Oh, I don't know. I really don't know who to get. I think Niall Quinn deserved it. He at the end he was under severe pressure from Keith Dempsey, so he drove a great race. So Niall Quinn for me.
In the GT3s, Conor Murphy.
Conor Murphy easily, yeah.
Overtakes. I think Evan Walsh was impressing all around there tonight, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. I would nearly go with Jordan Kelly's overtake on Brad. Bravery of the highest order, and Brad squeezing him all the way to the grass. Jordan Kelly, one of the great overtakes. And battle of the race, Nicky Meredith versus Thomas Series. That was a whole lap of side by side, brilliant stuff. And unfortunately, I don't think Nicky Meredith got the result he wanted in the end.
On to Silverstone next.
Silverstone.
That is going to be cracking. So join us in 2 weeks for that. There's no a set of course this Wednesday coming up. Of course, the set of course championship went down to the wire with Jordan Kelly and Peter McCann sharing the spoils with David Yamamoto and Brian McManus for the GTN Cup. So keep posted on Facebook and on the VRA webpage. We'll have updates of the next championship coming very soon. That is going to be door-to-door banging stuff as well. So until 2 weeks time, I'll leave it to you to sign off, Jack.
Yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks time for Silverstone, and of course by the time that comes around I would imagine Keith will be in Rome.
We will.
Yeah.
We'll be in Rome representing Ireland at the FIA Motorsport Games at the Digital Cup Series. So we were talking about it earlier on today. We're hoping that we'll get to broadcast from that. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of coverage from it anyway, but stay tuned for that. So that's over now.